Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to defend the WWE. Before I start, I'm gonna start doing plugs again, if I remember it there. First plug goes out to my man, Danielson. Why? Why the fuck not, people? Sub to Danielson. Always some action going on there. Alrighty, it is time to defend the current product. People might dislike this vid, but coming from the heart, dog. From the heart. Number one, no more blood. Realistically, in this day and age, it's full of diseases. You hear about Abdullah the Butcher giving HIV to wrestlers and stuff like this. You know, wrestling isn't real. We know that it isn't real, so we don't really need blood. And it's better for the wrestlers, not, you know, having to rub up against other men that are full of blood. It could be a bit disgusting. It's PG. Hogan, the Hogan era. That is what put WWE on the map. And that was very PG. It was, you know, lots of it was G-rated. Okay, and that era is what put WWE on the map. When the Hogan era stopped, that's when it started to go down. You know, when it became less cartoonish and less PG, it started to go down. The Attitude Era saved it, but if Hogan and everything would have still have been in WWE, the rating wouldn't have dropped like that. And like I explained a couple months ago there, the ratings started to go down while it was still TV-14. Since it became PG, there's not that much of a big difference in the ratings compared to the big loss that they got while being TV-14. And yeah, you can still have a good wrestling show with the PG rating. Good wrestling, good promos. That's it. With some comedy, you know. For the first 100 years, wrestling wasn't about barbed wire and boobs, you know, so you don't need that in wrestling. It's not something that absolutely has to be TV-14. That's bullshit. Just excuses to complain. It's a kid's show. No, it is for the whole family. The reason that they mention that they want to get kid fans and women isn't because it's geared just for them. That's because they want to add them to the fan base. Just to have more fans. That's it. Brock Lesnar isn't for kids. The Shield isn't for kids. CM Punk isn't for kids. You know, you have stuff for everybody. Look at the stuff with Paul Bearer. You know, that's the stuff that's going to give kids nightmares, you know. Even I was offended by that kind of stuff there. So, it's not a kid's show. It's a family show. You can watch it with your kinfolk, not be scared for the youngins. No more weapons to the head. That's one word. Concussions. How many wrestlers like Bret Hart takes a kick to the head, forced to retire, you know? In the old days, McMahon did what he wanted. He mistreated the wrestlers. Go out there, get bashed in the head with steel weapons. If you don't show up tomorrow, you're fired. So wrestlers took pills, you know, painkillers. Lots of them died. They had to retire. Look at Benoit, for God's sakes. You know, so you don't absolutely need wrestlers to take giant chair shots to the head. If you love your favorite wrestler, why do you want him to get beaten with a steel chair? UFC, you know, they're gonna punch each other in the face and that can knock a person out. They don't hit each other with baseball bats and shit like this. In wrestling, they have to stay there and let themselves get beaten with chairs. With, you know, they can get concussions, you know. It's not something that's needed as well. You get little headshots here and there, but You don't need, you know, every match to have big chair shots to the head. It's not necessary. No more pile drivers. For example, Steve Austin, the guy that, you know, left and we all got pissed off. We say, oh, Austin's not there, so it sucks. He had to retire because of a pile driver. You know, it's stuff like this. That's why they have to stop that stuff, because it puts the wrestlers at risk to lose their neck. And there's a Japanese wrestler takes a big head bump and he dies right in the ring. You know, it's, you know, if they don't have to do that, then it's better for the wrestlers. That way a wrestler can be there 15, 20 years instead of retiring in 5 years with a broken neck. Low ratings. Yes, the ratings are lower. There is no denying that. But lots of people are watching it online for various reasons. Some of them don't want to give them ratings because they're still butthurt about WCW. Other people, you know, they get together with their friends online. Okay, they like to chat with their friends while they watch wrestling. That's what 90% of the YWC do, okay? So, a lot of ratings, you know, are missing because of the internet. If everybody online would watch it at home on their TV, I bet it would be like a 5 every week. At least 4.5. Something like this. Lots of people watching it online. Plus, people get together to watch wrestling. You're going to go to your friend's house. You'll have 4 or 5 friends at your place watching wrestling. Like watching a hockey game or whatever. So if every individual stayed at home to watch it, you'd have way more ratings. And if, you know, people didn't watch it all on the net, the ratings would be way higher. Plus, nowadays, they have a lot more international viewers. It's available in different countries, and they didn't have that in the past. So the little 2 or 3 rating doesn't reflect all the views worldwide. So, you know, there's probably more viewers now than they had in the past. Plus, they're still making money. Lots of money. And me personally, I don't need the show to be a 10 rating in order for me to enjoy it. You know, what the fuck do I care really about the rating when I'm watching the product? No more stars. Yes, it's true that they lost a lot of stars. Okay? They still have some, like Punk, Cena, Brock, Taker right now. Okay, but lots of reasons for that. Lots of guys were too old, like, you know, Hulk Hogan, shit like this. They had to stop wrestling. There's guys who died, like Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero would probably be a world champ right now. There's lots of guys who should still be in WWE right now, but it was one tragedy after the other. Guerrero and Benoit were supposed to be big champs for the next fucking 10 years when they died there. They should have still be here fucking wrestling main events and stuff like that, but they died, you know? Guys like Steve Austin who got injured prematurely because of pile drivers, headshots, stuff like this there. Edge should have been the champ for the next 10 years. But another fucking tragedy with Edge. Lots of stuff like this. Plus McMahon pushed people that fucked off when The Rock left. Others tried to do like him, like Brock Lesnar left. Stuff like this. Jericho left. These are all guys that McMahon thought were going to be here today. There should be another 10, 15 main eventers here today. But because of different reasons, they're not. So, however, there's lots of young guys right now who can become huge stars. Like Dean Ambrose. This guy's, he has champion written in his forehead. WWE champion, the big belt. If this guy doesn't win the world title, there's a problem. Okay, there was a dark match between Dean Ambrose and Taker. That's because Dean Ambrose is fucking good. They wouldn't make Taker fight him, you know, in the dark match or whatever for nothing. That's why Taker put him over this week on Raw, him and The Shield, and he's wrestling him. That's because they got big plans for Dean Ambrose. The guy is super good. Okay, there's other guys like Seth Rollins. He has a bit of a speech impediment, but he's a super great wrestler. Lots of guys that can become big stars. So in a couple years, there's going to be like 10 new main eventers at least. And the show will be better. It will be better. And the ratings might climb a bit more in the future. The writing is bad. When we think of storylines, we think of, you know, like Steve Austin and Vince. We think of the NWO. And we won't get that anymore. Those were top of the line wrestlers. The best, with Vince McMahon at his peak there of his charisma. NWO was fucking jam-packed with stars oozing with charisma. You won't get good stuff like that right now with the current roster because they're not giant stars right now. Like I said, in the future, they're going to be better, but they still do good shit, you know? Like The Shield. I love The Shield. I like it, okay? There's lots of good stuff, but it's more of a simple booking. It's like they're going back to the Hogan era. Like Hogan versus Savage. Savage knocks down Elizabeth by mistake. Hogan carries her in the back. Savage gets jealous. Bam, that's your storyline for the whole year. That was it. Simple booking, and I think that's what they're trying to go for now. They have a couple storylines at a time, but there's still good, catchy stuff once in a while. Look at Fandango. You know, it hurts me to admit it there, but, you know, McMahon had a couple ideas with Fandango. Now there's a shitload of people dancing and singing a song and stuff. So they can still get it done when they actually want to. It's because it's a different mentality now. It's more entertainment. Like Kane and Bryan, we're going to say, it's PG, G-rated. But it's like an act for the show, you know. They're like a comedy duo. You know, it's a different style now. It's not the same like Attitude Era. It's different. The matches are watered down. If you compare, you know, TNA to WWE, TNA are more reckless with the wrestlers. It's little X Division guys doing a bunch of flips and stuff like this there. So yeah, it might seem, you know, watered down, but WWE is, you know, the top fed. It's safer. The matches are a lot safer. But the timing is perfect. It's like watching a movie fight, but in one take. The timing is incredible. You don't have that many botches in WWE. It's all well done. Perfect from from bell to bell. No fuck-ups. It's TV wrestling. They'll grab them in the rest hold, then they'll make faces. You know, that's what it is. Like in the days of Hulk Hogan went like this. That's it. And the whole crowd went fucking mental. That's all he had to do, point. Do. The whole crowd went fucking crazy. So I think they want to go back to that. You know, little things that the crowd enjoys instead of 10 flips with 10 pile drivers or whatever. They're going back to like a classic style like the Hogan era, which is the era that put them on the map, like I said. You know, people will say the show sucks. Show sucks. I think it depends on the mentality that you have when you watch it, okay? Like, a lot of people hate WWE, and in their minds, the show already sucks before it even begins. Straight up. You know, people are gonna make a vid, oh, Raw sucked like I did and stuff there. Raw sucks, blah, 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 blah. So before they watch it, they want the show to suck. So they just look for the negatives. For example, you can have a good match between two mid-carders. Oh, fucking jobbers. It's easy to say this. You can say, oh, fucking jobbers. This should be on NXT or Superstars. And on the other hand, you can say, oh, it was a good little match. Nothing wrong with it. You know, it depends on how you look at things. You know, lots of people, I hate this fucking cheap show for kids. Fuck WWE. And that's just before you start watching it. You're watching it, fuck, like this. So of course you're gonna be negative. Some people, you know, the show can be awesome. But if John Cena wins, then apparently the whole show sucks. Well, you know, that's, you know, it's not, it's, you know, it's your opinion. You're allowed to do that, but that doesn't mean that everybody else is going to have to believe that the show sucks there because John Cena wins. Somebody might like Cena, and for him, if it's a good show and Cena wins, then they're going to think it's a great show. It all depends on how you look at it. Lots of us right off the bat, hey, this isn't TV 14. It's not Attitude Era. It's not Steve Austin. So I hate this. Oh, it's on now. Let's watch it. You know, we have to lighten up when we watch it. Watch it without being biased. Watch it without comparing it to Steve Austin. And you're going to enjoy it a lot more. Alright, until next time, peace.